Hello everyone, it's Martin here, and it's Saturday, and I'm certainly glad I'm sitting here in front of the computer on this Saturday. It's been really frosty outside, so I'm glad I'm not outside. It's been one of the coldest weekends in a long time, so hopefully you're all enjoying a weekend, but it's time for me to sit here in front of the currency screens, and I basically, with this week's video, I want to answer some of the students' questions that have come in with regards to trading opportunities, trading with the trend, trading on different time frames, taking a look at the currency chart and seeing who's in control, whether the buyers are in control or the sellers are in control, and what are the optimum areas for entering trades. So hopefully I'll be able to answer all those questions and help make your trading decisions a lot easier. And the other thing is I want to refer back to last week's video where I did talk about some great trading ideas where I expected price to go, and most of that did actually happen. Price did go where I thought it would go, and I think as students, it's really important that you go back to always the previous week's video, take a look at your price charts in the current week, and see how price has reacted to the previous week's videos. I think you can learn a lot by reviewing the weekly videos, and keep reviewing them just to see exactly how price moves. And obviously, the more you watch the videos and compare it to the current price action, the more that will be able to help you, and I think you'll become much better traders. So I always keep reviewing my own stuff as well. I look back at notes. I do make notes, and I want to see how accurate I am. So this only comes with practice, and I urge everyone to keep reviewing the videos week by week by week. Okay, so let's start. We're going to take a look at the first currency pair, and that is the Euro US dollar, Euro USD. This let's bring the cursor back onto the currency screen here. You can see the Euro USD daily chart, and first thing I want you to do, and this is so important, everyone, I want everyone to zoom out whenever you look at a price chart. I think the first thing you should do is click on the zoom out tool so you can get a good overall look at the overall trend. This should help you tremendously. Here you can see, looking at my cursor, I'm back to June 2014. Okay, and obviously you can see we are in a major downtrend, right? Okay, that's easy enough to see. Other things that are important to note is, where is price in relationship to the 50 SMA? Well, you can see price all the way from here down to here is below the 50 SMA. Only touched it once about there, and for the most part, take a look, price is below the 21 EMA. So as you understand that both these EMA, both the 21 EMA and the 50 SMA act as dynamic resistance. So if price is below, these are resistance areas, just like these gray rectangles. And that's another thing for you to look at. Every time price moves from a higher zone to a lower zone, from a higher zone to a lower zone, higher zone to a lower zone, every time price moves from zone to zone to zone to zone to zone, we're establishing the strength of the trend. In this case, it's a downtrend, right? Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about, and that's really important, is this area right here at the bottom. I want to take that off for a second and zoom in. It's time to zoom in. And you can take a look. Price all the way down has moved from one zone to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. But all of a sudden, we have made a reversal. Okay, price has come back as low as possible, and now has moved from a lower zone to a higher zone. And this is important to understand. When that happens, we are in a trend reversal, and the trend has changed. There is now weakness of the sellers. The buyers have gained strength, and we're going to see if the buyers will gain more strength to bring price up even higher into another zone. Right now we don't know that, but basically, because prices move from the lower zone to a higher zone, we now are considered to be in a short-term uptrend, even though the long-term trend is down. Once we break this area, the uptrend is more firmly established, okay? But when we are in a uptrend, we're looking for price to basically pull back down. We're looking for buying opportunities here at support. So remember, in an uptrend, we want price to come back down to support, bounce off, and then look for bullish activity or bullish evidence to the upside, which has basically happened. Price may still go up a little bit higher to about here and stall and come back down. We just don't know yet. So this is important to understand. Now, the next thing is, because this is a short-term uptrend on the daily chart, supposing we want to trade on lower time frame chart, okay? So let's just do that. Let's go down to the 4-hour, and you can see again, short-term price has moved from the low, from this price zone between the gray rectangles to a higher price zone, even gone as high as the extreme high of the resistance. Price has now come back down. Price has bounced off of the support, gone back up, and it's come back down. And now it's bouncing around here and gone higher again. So the important thing to understand is, where is price in relationship to the 50 SMA? Again, on the price action course, if price is above the 50 SMA, we're looking for buy trades. Also, remember, prices move from a lower zone to a higher zone to establish that we are in a short-term uptrend. And the very first opportunity, take a look at this cross right here, where the 21 EMA has crossed above the 50 for the very first time. Okay, see, price all along previously was below the 50. Now price has now gone above the 50. And this again reaffirms the fact that we are in a short-term uptrend. So after this huge momentum breakout candle, we basically have a trading opportunity right there. Would have made about 50, 60 pips, right? But the next thing that's really important, and this is important, we have to wait for a retracement or pull back down to support, again according to the lessons, and look for bullish evidence to the upside. Okay, so let's take that all off. Price has now come back down, and we have a pin bar right there, and then another small kind of a doji bar. But see this bar right there? This is a bullish warrior candle. It's also above the 50 SMA, and so our first entry would have been right about there, good enough for about 130, 140 pips, I believe. Okay, so again, we look for buy trades in a short-term uptrend movement as long as price is above the 50. And this coincides with the long-term charts. Again, let's just take this all off. I'll go back to the daily. We have price, even on a daily chart, you can see this. Price moves from a lower zone up into a higher zone. So again, we would be looking at price to come back down, bullish evidence to the upside, and taking a buy trade only. Now, if price closes above this 21, in other words, price closes above the 21 EMA and above this gray horizontal area known as the resistance, if price breaks up and closes around here, then we would be looking at a continuation uptrend movement. We're looking for price to come back down to retest this support and look for bullish evidence to the upside. Most likely would meet with the 50 SMA right around here. Okay, so that would be we can anticipate that happening if price closes above here. However, if price actually bounces off the 21 EMA to the downside, then price most likely will come back down again, and again it may break through this zone and back down further. Okay, so this is exactly what I'm looking at, and we'll look at one or two more charts. Well, obviously we can't look at a lot of charts because time is running out on this video. Let me just take everything off. The next chart would be the British pound. Same thing with the British pound. Last week I did mention, though, there was a breakout momentum candle. See this one right there? Okay, let me just draw that. This candle right here. Okay, that was a breakout momentum candle, and it actually closed above the 50 SMA, It closed above the, it broke through the resistance here, the gray rectangle, and price moved from a lower zone, lower price zone, into a higher price zone. So with all these factors, again, we can only determine that price is in a short-term uptrend movement, even though the long-term trend is down. So this movement up into a higher price zone kind of negates the long term. We can only consider short-term positions right now, and that means looking for buy trade opportunities only, especially if price has closed above the 50 SMA and above this previous resistance, which is now new support. Let's just change the chart for a second, take everything off. Let's change it to a 4-hour, and this becomes a lot more clearer. You can see price has moved with this candle right there. Price has moved quite explosively right above the previous resistance. Here is previous resistance and also a previous high. Okay, looking back to the left, price has gone up higher. We now can only look for buy trades because price has moved from this zone to a higher zone. We're looking for a pullback, steeper pullback than what's happened right now, and then looking for bullish evidence to the upside. That's exactly what we're looking for. Price may come back and actually see this is the 21 EMA, may come back even further and then up higher. So this is what we've got to look at. This 21 EMA can act as a dynamic support along with this gray rectangle. Everything's confluencing there, and we can only expect price to come back down and look for bullish evidence to the upside. Now, if that does not happen and price actually breaks below the 50 SMA, see that's the 50 SMA right here, price breaks below in this area, actually anywhere below here, then we can consider that price is being rejected or kind of a false breakout. We're looking for price eventually come back to this previous support. So we'd be once price breaks here below this minor support, we'd look at price to pull back a wee bit and then look for bearish evidence to the downside. Now this is the 4-hour chart and that compares with the daily chart. So again, I'm going to take this off for a second. Go back to the daily. On a daily, price has moved from a lower zone to a higher zone. It is closed above the 50 SMA. We can only look for, we should only be looking for buy trades, waiting for a price to come back down a bit. I think it will most likely come back down a bit, then look for bullish evidence to the upside. If you're trading on lower time frames like the 4-hour or the hourly chart, the same thing. You're waiting for price to pull back down lower into the gray zone, then look for bullish evidence to the upside. If the 50 SMA does not hold price, in other words, if price breaks below the 50 and below the gray rectangle area, then price most likely will come back down to at least meet with the 21 EMA and possibly come down even further. So again, it's an if-then situation, and this is what I do with all the charts. You have to be able to go through the steps, determine short-term price movement. Are we in a short-term uptrend or downtrend? As opposed to long-term downtrend, uptrend. I mean, overall, taking a look at the British pound USD, we are in a, let's just zoom out, we are in a long-term downtrend, but there is evidence that price could definitely be going a lot higher, at least to this zone up here, or even higher a bit, before possibly coming back down. But again, the important thing is price has broken above the 50, so I would only be looking at buy trades only. So hopefully this video helps. And if you have any questions, please send them in. I will try to respond to every question as soon as possible. Happy trading, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.